ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. The inaugural Don't Blink Home Run Derby in Paradise, a smashing success on Saturday at the Montague foreshore. Bo Bichette of the Toronto Blue Jays organization claimed the King of the Beach title. He hit 9 home runs in the final round.
This is like a dream, playing baseball in the Bahamas on the beach, you know, so I mean, I'm glad to win it, but the experience here is really cool, and helping out Todd is what I came for.
Now, even though the title did not stay here at home, our pro players held their own. Anthony Seymour and Jazrado Chisholm were two of the local products who took part, both now focusing on the task at hand.
My main thing this offseason is be more consistent. You know, not to separate minor leaguers from major leaguers, just consistency. So, trying to repeat everything, repeat my swing, repeat my mechanics, all that stuff. If I can get that down, sky's the limit.
I mean, it's not the easiest sport you could play, because not everybody could go and play baseball, and not everybody could go and hit 95 miles per hour. So, I mean, it's pretty hard, especially when the ball moves. So, I mean, it's probably the hardest sport to play in the world, but I mean, we try to make it look as easy as it is, but it really isn't, because you got to get through 7 levels to get to the major leagues. So, I mean, it's a really hard process, and you just got to trust it.
For you, what's your timetable getting to the major league?
If I play to my full potential this year, it'll probably be at the end of this year.
Hopefully at the end of this year, I want to get a call up, but you never know what these guys in the front office or anything is thinking about. So the only thing you can do is play your game and work hard.
Where do you see improvement for yourself in the game of baseball?
Defense is pretty good, but just being over-aggressive on offense and just taking my time and knowing that to trust my hands, that's all it is, really.
Jeff Francis knows everything there is to know about our baseball players abroad, and so he was all smiles to see everyone come together.
This was something when we started a federation type structure in 2003. The president said that this would be planned on flooding the pipeline of minor league baseball, so that we'll get a major league baseball player.
What has it been to you, somebody who has a passion for baseball, when you could watch TV, open up the papers or go online, and you see that name, and that name is a Johnson or Smith, and you say that's a Bahamian?
It's such a great feeling. For me personally, who sit down every night, I subscribe to minor league baseball, so I get to watch all of their games. I sit up all night, sometimes even up to 1 a.m. Checking out their stats to see how they did the night before, and I follow their movement straight through all the way to the end of the year.
Who would you say would be, in this crop right now, the top 2 or 3 to make it to the major leagues we can see on TV?
You know, basically it's a rough call, but then I got to look at where they are in their organization. I would pick a Champ Stewart, who's already in AA, and who spent his time also in spring training with the major league team. And then I would look at Anthony Seymour. When you look at Anthony Seymour growing up as a child, he always had that passion, and he always wanted to be a leader, and he always loved to play. And so you could put him in that category of moving up. And then you have Lucius and Todd, who also up there in their organization.
A special guest also in town for the Home Run Derby, World Series champion and 4-time Gold Glove winner Charles Johnson had a front row seat.
I've been coming to the Bahamas, man, back in the early 90s. My wife family's from here, so I've always enjoyed coming to Nassau and going to Paradise Island, Atlantis, and having a great time with my family.
Since the major leagues, what you been up to?
I've been really busy. I have an academy back home called Catch This Academy, where I really help inner city kids really get them to learn and teach them about baseball, and also a STEM project as far as I really get the kids to understand that all of us can't be major leaguers, but we all can be part of sports, being a part of the front office, being a general manager, or being a manager one day.
The 2018 Carifta Games will be held right here in the Bahamas. Coach of the Fast Forward Track Club, Everett Fraser, says the 242 needs to be ready to represent on home soil.
The Bahamas coaches or everybody have to work together and try to get our athletes. Everybody got to get their athletes ready to compete, because we got to show what we got to do. I mean, the athletes they've been working hard, and even the other athletes from different clubs have been asking how they've been progressing and so forth. And it seems like we're going to have a good relay teams, and we're going to have a good showing.
Now, one athlete the Bahamas has high hopes for at Carifta is sprint sensation Divine Parker.
said to me, she says, Coach Pauline, I want to run 22 seconds. I said, well, Divine, 22 seconds are going to drop in your lap. You know, I ran 22 seconds in high school, and it wasn't easy. I worked very hard. And if you want to run 22 seconds, it's not impossible, but you have to put the work in. And I said, the Jamaicans are not just going to come here and roll over and die and let you win the race. You have to work very hard to become the champion.
Still talking track and field, Kaiwan Colmer holding his own, doing the horizontal jumps at the University of Nebraska.
It's going pretty good. I'm on my senior year. I accomplished a lot of good things. Two-time first-team All-American, so top 8 in the nation. It's not real easy to do.
The Bahamas has had its fair share of Division I basketball players. Tonight, Charles Fisher tells us there may be another one in the pipeline.
He's on the next watch list. 6'2", 24 pounds, 17-year-old Rashad Green just completed his first year at St. Louis Christian Academy in Missouri.
Basketball in the Bahamas is, a bit speed up, but as I moved to the States and started to play there, it began to slow down and began to be more of a playable game. It took a bit time for me to adjust to the environment, but as the days go on and the weeks pass, I began to get relaxed and play my game. I average about 17 points, 2 steals, and 2 blocks a game.
He's also bouncing it in the classroom with a grade point average of 3.86.
My teachers are amazing teachers, and they help me a lot. So as the class go on, I learn every day, and we use stuff practice in the mornings, but as our coaches, they give us time to do our work and practice, so it's pretty easy.
The holiday break was not only about ham and turkey, but work.
I woke up every morning, went to the beach to go for a run. I went swimming to relax my legs, and I just worked out, eat good, everything. I was working on my dunking, actually. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. My ball handling is tight, my shot is there, my layup pocket is there, everything's just there.
So what's the plan for the remainder of the season as he heads back to St. Louis, Missouri?
I just want to get offers now. I have a couple schools with interest, but not really offers yet because I'm not a senior.
Where would you like to go?
I'd like to go to Florida because it's a nice environment and it's close to home.
Keep listening about Rashad Green, ready to soar. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
Leisha Grant with a big game for the Lakehead University Thunderwolves in Canada. She finished up with 41 points and 26 rebounds to lead her team to a 64-62 win over Guelph.
It was a great way to start out 2018 by getting the victory. The game itself was pretty tough. Nothing was easy. But we were able to still come out with the win. The rhythm of the game was pretty flowy. It was more you score, I score type of game. So it was just working hard on the defensive end to get stops. My season so far has been amazing. All the praise and glory goes to God each and every day. Being able to play the game that I love and, playing it to the best of my ability is the reason why I have so many great outcomes. But to finish off the season this year, it's going to be pretty tough, pretty challenging, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Sports definitely trending in the right direction here in the Bahamas, and moving forward, Sports Minister, the Honorable Michael Pintard, says he wants to take a 6-prong approach.
Along each of those lines, we have devised and we're in the process of developing further programs. So, for example, we're committed to making sure our elite athletes are properly supported by the government and the private sector. Toward that end, as you are aware, we are revising the subvention program. In January, we would give an update. We've met with most of the federations throughout the country, but that process is ongoing. We're also seeking to assist coaches in getting the required certification. It's important that a number of our elite athletes come back home to train and bring their friends. It's going to assist us in terms of sports tourism. It's going to put further pressure on the government and the NSA to make sure our facilities are up to speed and accessible, because that's key. The price structure of our facilities must make sense for the various organizations that we're servicing.
That will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.